everyone, if you didn't watch the Buffy rewatch that we did, go check that out right now. This is Ian.
Ian from Passion of the Nerd. I am clothed in my Xander clothes to commemorate this event. So I look weird. I look like Spike climbing on a table.
Of anything you could have led with, you were like, I'm dressed like Xander.
I'm wearing my Xander clothes. I'm not ashamed.
So if you're not familiar with Passion of the Nerd, which, let's be honest, you should be, he does Buffy and Angel guides, and he's a nerd about it.
Yeah, so I've been doing a youtube.com/Passion of the Nerd or youtube.com/The Passion of the Nerd. We probably should have looked that up between episodes. By we, I mean me.
That's okay, I can edit that.
Yeah, started a channel 4 years ago. Quite the community. A lot of the community recommended that I watch your videos, and we got to chatting on Twitter, and here we are.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, so we did the rewatch for Full for Love, and this is the Angel episode that Ian decided on.
Well, so as I said in the other video, promise to your audience that I'm not going to spoil anything, but you know, sort of picking within the episodes that you've watched so far. You're on early season 3, and I mean, for me, 5x5 is easily tops within that spectrum. This is an amazing episode, and I happen to be reviewing it in shortly about the time that you may be watching this video. So it seemed serendipitous that we.
So I'd click on whatever link is in the description.
I would appreciate it. Thank you.
You won't be disappointed.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. I don't like pressure. What were your feelings about Faith in season 3? I mean, so, as a character, as...
I like, so my favorite kind of story is, like, a redemption arc, because there's so much, like, what do you get from a character that's already good? You just get more of them being good. And, like, it's not that interesting to me. To me, it's more interesting when a character falters and then, like, they come back from that. And that's why I've always loved Spike so much. Like, I just saw the potential. Well, to be fair, I watched Smallville, and he was in Smallville, so I really liked him when he was Brainiac. So
he's got that smolder.
Yeah, I already had that love for James Masters, but like with Faith, when she started going down like the dark path, I was like, ooh, okay, I can see something interesting going on here. And then like I was wanting that redemption arc, and I kind of got it from these 2 episodes.
That's exactly, I mean, that summarizes my feelings about season 3 and Faith in general. I loved the Mayor and Faith in orbit of each other. Together, something really kind of sweet, like perversely sweet and beautiful arose out of their relationship. But separately, I didn't find either of them particularly interesting. You know, I thought that Faith's going bad story was hinted at from her first episode. So when she's punching the that's not the first episode, but it's hinted at early on. But like the way that Faith was really interesting to me in season 3 was in the vulnerability that the love between the Mayor and Faith revealed about her, right? And what she sort of symbolized for Buffy, like every. But this episode is exactly what you're talking about, where it's the end of the hedonistic line. It's the end of that, where it's just like, it's bottom, absolute rock bottom, and it's painful and lovely to watch, and and it made her far more complex and fun
Yes.
to me than she was in season 3.
I kind of was very disappointed in like the main character, like the Scoobies as a whole, because like Buffy has this house. She has a mum. She has a giant house with a spare room
house.
that ends up housing Dawn. Okay.
Yeah, Joyce made out well in that divorce.
Yeah, so like
unless
they've
she's
got
selling
a spare
art
room
like
already.
crazy. Sorry, I didn't mean to
They've got
interrupt.
a spare room already for Faith, but they keep her in a hotel. And like they take so much time to send her a watcher, and when they do, they send her. Well, she gets a fake watcher first.
Yeah, an evil watcher.
And then she gets Wesley.
Which we talked about off camera. How do you feel about Wesley now in Angel? Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wesley's one of my favorites.
But like they took so long that like she was under the care of Giles, who was fired as well. So it was like she didn't really have a watcher, and it was like no one cared for her at all. So why were they shocked? Why were they shocked when someone showed her a little bit of caring that she would attach herself to them?
Yeah. Huh. Well, when you put season 3 in that perspective, yeah, they do. I mean, it's a giant house. Huh.
And you see when she has dinner at Buffy's house that she's like eating Buffy's chips, like she's gone days without eating.
Yeah, she's starving.
Yeah.
I think all of that makes Faith a more empathetic character. It's easy to empathize with and understand. But again, I don't think it gets really interesting without the mayor until this episode. But again, it's the scene in the alleyway at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
That I'm like, all right, I'm in. I'm on her side. No matter what. Yeah. Like, I want her to, not no matter what, but I want her to find her way now so badly.
Yes.
And I think that's what was missing before for me. Maybe a little bit in the car when she's riding away at the end of Who Are You? And when she's in the back of the truck with the haystacks. And when in the church when she's punching her own face and telling her that she's filthy.
You're disgusting. You're terrible. Yeah.
But this episode, it feels like the bottom to me, and it's just so hard not to have that compassion for the character and at that moment and just be like, all right, I want you to win. Come on. I think part of the point of the show is I think part of the point of the Buffyverse is goodness and morality and heart sort of overcoming the worst aspects of ourselves. Yeah. You know, and honestly, I kind of love the show's willingness to go there, to show. It never feels pandering to me. It never feels manipulative. It never feels like done just for the sake of drama. It's always done with a point. That scene in the bedroom with Riley, where she sees Riley loving who he thinks is Buffy, and her
first
guilt.
time that he says that he loves her as well.
Yeah, and she's not there, and her guilt in that scene, like it's not just gross or a plot point or whatever. There's a purpose. There's a meaning to the when they go there, and I respect that. I appreciate that.
Someone pointed out to me that when the whole Riley situation goes on, when he goes bye-bye, and Xander corners Buffy and is like, trying to force his kind of view on her. I
hate that scene so much.
Right? The way that they saw it was that he sees himself in Riley. And that's my theory too. Because in season 1, he could never be with Buffy, right? It's almost like he is with Buffy because Riley is with Buffy, and like, why can't she be with him?
Well, there's that stunning. It might be my favorite Riley moment. There's that stunning moment.
When he leaves?
No. I give Riley a lot of crap, but I don't hate Riley. It's the scene where they're moving they're moving Xander out of the basement. And
yeah.
Riley's packing up a box, and he's saying, Buffy's like, no one else, but she doesn't love me. And Xander stares for a second, and you can see him. That's the moment where I think he's putting himself in Riley's shoes, because he's always felt the same way about her, and Riley's love. Even he gets to be. It's what Spike said. You get to be holding her and have her be so far away. I think that's the moment that sort of leads to that speech into the woods.
But even when he goes, how you didn't see it coming, neither did you. You were told.
Yeah. He said like 17 episodes ago, buddy.
Well, let's start this episode.
It's such an inappropriate method of transportation for Angel, but it's so perfect at the same time.
The Angel Mobile.
The Angel Mobile is awesome.
Do the Angel Mobile.
I hate saving the wrong guy.
That's another thing that Angel does a little more of than Buffy certainly is the gore.
You want to ride?
And there's a lot more demons that are good as well.
Yeah, I mean, in keeping with Angel's character, certainly. Demon-possessed man.
Oh, look at my girl.
It's such a nice little reveal with the sound, and it's a little chilling.
You got that new in town look. It's a dangerous part of town this time of night for young ladies, you know? A lot of people down here try and take advantage of a situation like that.
What, like you?
Especially if you don't have any money, a place to stay. I might be able to help.
I'm cold.
Oh, yeah? Warm is my middle name.
Is your first name getting beat up by a girl?
No, it's Lester. Lester Warm McMahon.
And a place to stay.
What's her tattoo? Oh, yeah, of course.
I like it.
I think I'm gonna like it here.
She's a gypsy.
How can you just
I
tell?
looked everywhere.
What would I do without you?
Wither and die.
I don't know. But I'm not 100 years old, so...
I get to watch.
It's just weird how good... Whenever they flash back in either show, it's always really good.
Yeah.
Becoming Part 1 is
This is just so,
wonderful.
like... He goes for, like, die. It's so predatory.
It's actually this. I mean, you see a lot of people get bitten by vampires in both shows. That one is a little hard to watch for some reason. It's a little more predatory.
This guy's never gonna do it.
Honey, and dance with me.
She does a lot of the hair thing. I don't get to do that. That's my hair move.
Like, why? If this is her boyfriend, why is he letting her dirty dance?
Okay, you're excused.
That's my boyfriend.
Yeah.
He's just like okay with
I
it.
don't see it anywhere.
It's like he's
Billy, do
routine or
something.
something.
Yeah, Billy, do something like this.
I mean, and then he just tries to full on deck her.
still partying.
Yeah. It's sort of the dancing through the chaos and violence in her own head, I guess. I really hate this guy.
How did you find
It's
out
okay,
there was
he
a
gets
rogue
shot in the
slayer?
head.
And yeah,
job.
and he gets beaten senseless
reading the police
in this
reports.
one. He reminds
is
me
really
of the.
exciting.
He reminds me of the guy from.
Wilson enough.
Who's the Bazinga guy?
Sheldon Cooper. But I
Yeah,
like him.
I'll make a
he's like evil Bazinga.
I don't think so. It's my deal. I'll make the contact.
Let me think about it. No.
Why not?
It's your people skills. You don't have any.
You bitch.
See,
You bitch.
if you behave, I'll
Let's
let you
lead
run
up that with a yeah, you're right.
Fortunately, we don't really do divorce cases.
I guess we could go somewhere and talk. Although I'm not much of a talker, I'm more of a doer.
Like
You
why?
might have misunderstood my intentions.
No,
Why did she
I think you
leave with her
misunderstood
then?
mine. I like that watch.
And
Diamonds,
I
right?
guess we can go out somewhere and talk.
Faith.
it also seems like with the
I know.
resources that Wolfram and Hart has
I don't think
access
I've
to,
told you.
the
We're
Crazy
well
X
aware
Slayer
of who
is
you
your best
are
choice.
and what you do. We know you've been experiencing some difficulties.
All right.
I think we can help bring some order back to your life.
We do we? Who is we and why do they know about me when I don't know jack about you?
Green is my favorite color. I look good in diamonds. And I love riding in limousines.
Faith, can we talk?
Ugh. I
love
mean, he
black.
brings in interesting evil energies that's slightly different than the rest. He seems like
They needed to bring in more of the
Yeah.
lords than just two.
or focus in the way they did. I think. I mean, I love Lila. I think she's an interesting statement, and I really enjoy her.
Yeah, children. They usually scream.
Yes, they sound just like little pigs. Have you brought me some?
Jeez,
You
her
know,
delivery on that one is just kind of gross and chilling.
Yeah. This was the first
Drunk and killed for how long now?
episode I didn't edit,
140 odd years.
so I had to
Drunk
watch it
them all
a
up and they're all dead.
bunch of times. It was like the first time my editor edited an episode.
Don't.
Yeah.
I also
People
don't understand why
found out
she goes
they
straight
did
for the
Spell.
like, are you seeing someone else?
I think with all the people
No, have you met someone
I've
else?
named and killed, I wouldn't be able to remember every single one.
Ah, that's interesting. She doesn't normally seem the jealous type.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more of something for Spike to say, and he does say, or he. I mean, he expresses jealousy in season 2,
Disgusting.
just because Drew wants to spend time with Angel to torture him, and he gets jealous.
I am like you.
You're not like anything.
But it doesn't seem very
Get away from
Darla-esque.
me. Get out! I'll kill you!
It might behoove you to know a little bit more about your intended, so before we discuss
Use the word behoove.
remuneration-
Please punch him in the face.
Payment. I want to make sure you
And
understand
remuneration?
this firm is in no way
Jeez.
connected to anything you do. It's my ass on the line here. I don't want you to make me look bad.
How do you look now?
They just watch it happen.
They just sit there.
Jesse. Yes, sir. I think you better make it 3 for dinner instead of 4.
And he's kind of
I thought that meant that they killed him. Like the
And they're all human.
It's not the kind of case
Yeah.
I normally
I
go
I
after,
mean-
but we've got to consider the bottom
Yeah, in
line.
a show where the demons are
Well,
not
it's
all that
exactly
bad
demon.
sometimes.
What kind of...
That was so cool. This is gonna be fun.
Oh my god. Faith.
I thought she was in a coma.
Pretty lively coma.
Why wouldn't they tell them?
Giles said she
See,
was
I was
coming
just
down
saying
on
that. I don't think they're talking since I Will Remember You.
That explains her outfit.
This isn't right.
When a whacked out
So
slayer tries to kill
the
your
two of them
boss,
had that.
they're
So he
wrong.
showed up
I met
in
Giles.
Pangs,
Why didn't he give
and
me the
she
heads up?
took issue
I
with
was
the
phase
fact
walked.
that
When she
he
came
didn't
out of
tell
her
her
coma,
she was in
Giles
town.
contacted me immediately.
Okay,
Maybe he
but
was-
why
But then again, it's sort of world
Giles
ending.
still-
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Killing everybody?
And Faith is sort of like dire peril, so why wouldn't they say anything?
Is she okay?
I do love that every character on the show in some way feels that they need redemption. Wesley felt up the Faith situation in Sunnydale and got fired. Cordy feels like she needs redemption for the way she was in high school. Doyle actually has the line in the opening episode, well, we all got things to atone for.
Blanks. Nice.
You didn't
Why
shoot
does he give her the
yourself?
gun back?
We're gonna have to up the stakes. Get you in
Yeah,
the game
good
a little.
question.
What's the game exactly?
I just noticed that.
Revenge.
Dude, I'm getting paid. They hate you almost as much as I do.
Why wouldn't you unload the gun anyways?
You think?
Just don't give her the gun back.
You experience that one true moment of pleasure. Oops. I'd get off on that. Go ahead. Do me. Let's take that hell ride together. Come on, Angel. I'm all yours.
It's
I'm giving you an
interesting.
open
You
invitation.
could totally get perfect happiness off of killing
Jeez, you're
her.
pathetic. You and your little tortured soul. Gotta think
I mean, if
everything
it made
through.
him happy though.
Right.
Lover. You don't do me, you know I'm gonna do you. Gosh, that one wasn't a blank.
I just can't believe he's wearing
What
a
the hell is
suit.
going on with those people?
I know.
I mean, is this a negotiation or a cotillion?
That's exactly what I was
And
trying
why,
to tell Frank.
somehow,
Frank works with Louise in contracts.
I don't know why,
The
but
problem is not
that guy
contract.
looks like a giant douchebag, and Angel looks amazing.
Go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a 90s
No,
snorting coke in the
Thursday.
back room, kind of just awful
We have to
person.
close Gruber now.
But
before this
Angel
all becomes hard
look
and
still
stop
looks
goes
contemporary and
in the
stands up.
toilet.
Right.
Keep me in
Yeah.
the loop, will you? I want to know the instant they fold. They are folded. Look, got it, John. Email me. Good to see you.
You too.
I can just imagine being Angel and just getting in there and be like,
I can't believe I got away with that.
oh, Dennis.
Every time I remember Dennis is on the show, I'm like,
It's only Wesley.
Dennis.
Also, why would he let her in?
Yeah, I mean, even if she yelled at him and told him to let
Don't
her
worry,
in,
hell will freeze over before I have sex with him.
just never opening the door, it seems like it would be the route
I'm
that
gonna
he
try
would go.
calling Angel again.
Okay, I'm gonna pack a bag.
Cordelia, please, just a few things. We're not
Also,
going on safari.
why doesn't he throw like a
I got no
vase
problem.
at Faith right now?
Yeah,
I
some
don't
kind
think
of
he's in the game,
haunting
but somehow,
upheaval
you
against her or
guys are
something.
key. Now, what could I do to really make him hate me?
Faith.
Shut up, Wesley.
Listen to me.
Maybe he's just gone
It's
to
not
do
too
what
late.
ghosts do
For
and
cappuccino?
probably just
Just
sleep.
keep
I don't know.
It's not too late to let me help you.
Yes, we want to help you.
I realize there have been failures on both sides. But I also believe in my heart that you are not a bad person.
What do you believe in your heart, Al?
That you shouldn't hit my
Jeez.
Cordelia.
All right, Wes. My turn.
Yeah, so a Slayer kick to the solar plexus probably doesn't tickle. For a moment, I thought she was gonna wet willy him. I was like, all right, well, that's kind of a weird kind of torture.
Yes.
Bring out the iron.
I get it though. I would be miserable.
Come on, now, don't poop out on me, damn it. Otherwise, this is all just gonna be over too fast. And you'll be dead, and I'll be bored. Come on, Wesley. Where's that stiff upper lip?
Stop hurting him.
It's a really intense scene though. They never actually
5
show
basic torture groups.
Yeah, they don't
thing-
show the
Blunt.
torturing.
the things she does, but it's really intense
Cold, hot,
regardless.
And loud. You should talk, huh? I guess I'll just have to try a little harder.
Whenever Wesley goes from insecure to just badass, it's kind of fun to watch.
Switch to sharp for a while.
On Monday, a guy was beaten up
That's
here.
so
His
well
wallet
done.
and car were stolen. He's still in the hospital.
Just the acting
4
of it,
blocks
like
over,
Yeah,
he's arrested
I think
for
it's one of her
rape and
better
major knockdown
performances to
drug
that
on
point.
Then here, another guy ran into something he referred to as the bitch from hell, who sent him home with paramedics.
Because somehow she manages to do it.
This was the first.
I mean, maybe I'm projecting, but somehow she
Yeah, we're just gonna go down.
seems intimidating, but like she's pushing really, really hard to be that intimidating, you know. And then this shot, which is very haunting. I also just wondered too if she dropped the bloody glass out the window so that Wesley's blood would bait Angel here, like the smell of the blood on the.
That's interesting, yeah.
I mean, he knew where the guy's place was, but
It's just like fate.
maybe that's a stretch.
No choice. You were gonna be here no matter what. You think about that stuff?
What do you think?
Very-
Do you think if it was
Fate.
Giles?
Destiny. I don't.
I mean, I don't think Giles would have ended up in this situation.
Neither.
Because
it
Giles.
proves, it proves, like, because he goes,
This may be last
when she
chance
went
we
through
have
the
to unload
killing
on
of the
each other.
human.
Right. Well, the other thing too is
But
that
if you'd been a
Giles
better watcher,
has his Ripper experience.
Yeah.
I mean, Giles has his own darkness that he's grappled with and dealt with to be the
Face
man
it,
that he is. And Wesley didn't
You're the
have
jerk.
that same
walking
kind of
around like you
thing.
had
So
some
his
great big
entire
stick rammed up
failure
your
with her
English
is an
channel.
over execution of the rules,
Yeah.
where Giles knows when to make an
I
exception.
want to hear you scream.
You never will.
I mean, her whole question about
Minute,
like fate
Wesley.
and all that is her trying to justify
Angel is gonna have the hots for me.
what she's doing, because it wouldn't have been any different. I always would have ended up here. I always would be doing these evil
Time,
things.
soul boy. Ready to play now?
I'm ready.
No, baby, he's payback.
For what? I thought you were happy with the way you are.
By the way, you never told me how much I'm worth dusting, just out of curiosity.
15,000 plus expenses.
I love that. Why would she want revenge if she was happy with who she was? That's such a great.
You feel
That
young?
line goes so quickly, but it's imperative to the.
You're looking pretty worn out to me.
Like, she looks like she hasn't slept in days.
Yeah. Well, that was the iron that I was talking about. But
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess you could consider, like, maybe that's why she also kind of loses against Angel as well.
yeah. Well, he also tells Buffy that, or there's a line somewhere in there where he says Buffy's kind of stronger than he is. So, you know, Slayers in general just have more power. But yeah, definitely. Angel season 1, episode 7. Angel season 1. Jeez, sorry, it's 12:30 here. Buffy season 1, episode 7. Angel has a fight with her at the end of it. Darla convinces Buffy that Angel was trying to kill her mom, and they fight in the bronze at the end of the episode. And Angel fights really poorly. And my interpretation of that episode was always that he was committing suicide by cop. He wanted. Yeah. He said to Darla, "I want it finished." Yeah. And he, in that scene, tells Buffy he murdered a bunch of people. He's evil, and Buffy puts her weapon down, walks up to him, and reveals her neck. And it's this kind of. Well, it's this wonderful little moment of, I'm not going to kill you. she refuses to let him commit suicide using her. And that is this scene. And that's why Angel knows not to do it. And that again, that parallel, that callback is so pretty to me. I love it so much. So just in this scene, he's just constantly deflecting blows. I mean,
yeah, like there's one part in it that I really, really, really liked, and it was like, she is like face down on the ground, and he just like shoves her across the ground, like that he doesn't punch her or anything.
It's not an attack. It's a defensive move.
He was just moving her out of the way.
I know what you want. Vengeance for what? I thought you liked who you are. Yeah. It's such a... it's so good.
This right here.
It's a really brutal fight.
There's so much glass.
You don't know what evil is! I'm bad!
In the rain?
My back!
Yeah. I think I was reading the original script called for rain, but they couldn't afford it, and then when they were filming, it started raining. That's not a special effect.
That's awesome.
You want. And I'm not gonna do it.
What was Wesley gonna do here?
I'm not gonna make it.
I don't think he realized what was going on. He was just gonna come to Angel's defense. Well,
I love her. I love Faith so much.
Yeah, it's so hard to talk after that. That's how chilling that scene is. Okay, brain, come on, start working again.
It's like it happens all the time when I like react to an episode. Some like awesome things happen in the episode, and then like something like, for example, I was made to love you. So many things I wanted to talk about. Okay, but then the end scene, and I just everything like nothing in the episode mattered, but that part.
That's I both love and hate that scene for that reason, because I Will Made to Love You has interesting things to say, but it all goes out the window the second she walks through the door in that red sweater, and sees the flowers. Like, it's really tough. I mean, I of course I mean I have the benefit of I get to write a script and then think about it for days, and then record voiceover later. So yeah, I imagine just verbalizing your shock to certain events in the show can be rather difficult sometimes. And people, I'm sure, are sitting there who have already processed the thing you just watched, and are like, "Come on, isn't it?" And you're like, "Hold on, I'm still having an emotional experience here." The first time I watched Amends, the magical snowstorm at the end of the episode is like, okay. Because they spend the whole episode explaining how it was going to be hot. We have a heat wave. Yeah, it's a hot day, and then for seemingly plot reasons, it starts to snow, and then.
But that was the powers that be.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that correlation.
It's like in the episode of, was it Epiphany? When he saves Kate from her drug overdose, and then like
Epiphany.
So it was either she died for a second and he was able to cross the threshold, or the powers that be let him in.
Yeah, I love that detail, and that's one of the more famous speeches from the show, is the two of them talking in the courtyard. But his if nothing we do matters, then the only thing that matters is what we do, is so affecting.
I don't like Kate.
Well,
she completely flip-flopped.
You mean after her dad died?
No, it was like, I understood that, okay, but then she got like super annoying about it. But then like all of a sudden she was just okay with Angel again, and it made no sense to me. Like the Shroud of Ramon, when the weird shroud thing, and then like he pretends to kill her, and then the next episode they work together.
Well, doesn't he save her in the shower, and then she says, "Get out"?
Yeah.
And then she just appears at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's inconsistent.
She's very inconsistent.
Yeah. Well, I think that was another case where the actress ended up going to NCIS, I think it was. So she had a better contract and was being asked. That seems to happen on the show a lot. But I mean, I'm making excuses within the story itself. It is a little disjointed, and we can certainly headcanon our way through it by, okay, well, she had a little time to think about it and then came back and told him, but it still ends up being sort of inconsistent character behavior.
Yeah.
But the show, for me, tends to be infinitely rewatchable, both of them, because of them grappling with those kinds of issues that sort of pop up in your own life repeatedly. And that's why I'm not sure I've ever watched as binge-worthy a show as Buffy, where I'm like, okay, another episode, okay, another episode. Especially that last half of season 5, it's just a greased slide. I mean, for me, over and over, that's probably one of my favorite seasons. So when you watch the shows that you're watching now, is it ever difficult to just not start the next episode and keep recording, or do you just do that sometimes?
It's definitely hard. Like for example, with season 2, they had like 4 episodes lined up for me because my editor, he like talks it over. I've got this thing that I like to call the council.
Okay.
And they kind of like talk it over in, because I've got a Discord, and there's like a spoiler zone that people can talk in.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked it over there, the watch order that I do, because I watch them in 4s, because I release 4 videos a week.
Mm-hmm. And
they sorted out, and this was so horribly mean of them. They sorted out Drew comes in to turn Darla into a vampire, and that was the last episode I was allowed to watch for that week.
That one's brutal.
I just wanted to turn the next episode on.
Of course, yeah.
So badly. But I, at that point in time, literally was like, I had so many things I needed to do. I just couldn't do the next episode as well. So I was, yeah.
That's cruel.
Yeah.
There's no way I could. Well, first of all, if I was doing an as I watched review series of the show, I would have just, all right, I'm I'm not writing anything else until I'm done watching the entire show. I go ahead.
Also, another problem of mine is, like, because I do thoughts videos, I have to, like, I'm not going to start the next season and then, you know, do my thoughts video
that's true.
then. So I can't start the next season until I've done my thoughts video. So it's painful if there's, like, a cliffhanger. Like, I'll want to watch the next episode really badly, but I can't until I get my thoughts out there in the open. Because otherwise it's not my thoughts on the season, it's my thoughts on the first 2 episodes of the next season, you know?
Yeah, and they resolve quite a bit in those first couple of episodes. And then you get to Surprise and Innocence. And I was like, oh, I'm done. And me finishing the show is no longer in my control. I'm going to finish it out. Like, I'm watching this to the very, very end of it. Because I've never seen a show that took one of the good guys, took one of the protagonists, and turned them in quite such a way. There have been shows since that followed that Buffy model of that season. It's such a famous season, and of course, Twilight is heavily inspired by Buffy and Angel. Did I say a bad word?
Twilight.
Yeah. I understand. But to that point, I had never really watched, and where it was so thematically tied to the idea of she slept with her boyfriend and he turned into an a-hole, and all those sorts of, all the sorts of layers that I was working on there, I was just, all right, I'm in. And I think I've watched the show about 10 times now, I want to say. So 8 or 10 times now. It's an annual rewatch for me. But every single time I get to a point where I'm like, all right, next episode. 5 in a row. I don't really think I've ever... I enjoyed Breaking Bad. I didn't love Breaking Bad, but that was the closest I came to binging in the way that I still do Buffy. Because it's both comfort food and it's really, really good. So that was a bit of a tangent. Or a bit of a rant.
We keep going into random tangents for an Angel episode.
Oh, for Buffy in the Angel episode, yeah. There are a lot of... I just try and tell people that the comparison is moot, but there are a lot of people are always saying whether they love Buffy or Angel better in my comments section. I think Angel's a better show, or I watched Angel first, or I loved Angel more, or whatever. And I get it, but I don't. There's no. They're both great. We're very lucky to have both of them. So, like, the comparison is sort of moot to me. But whenever I get on Buffyverse conversations, they just kind of bleed and weave together. Also, I can't say a lot about Angel yet, so. We're segueing back to territory.
Not a whole lot has, like...
Right.
Like, there's only 2 seasons worth, whereas, like, there's 5 seasons for Buffy.
Yeah, so we have a lot of material to chat about.
Yeah. Well, this was a rewatch with...
Ian from Passion of the Nerd, youtube.com/Passion of the Nerd, or youtube.com/The Passion of the Nerd. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for being here. It's an honor to, like, work with you, man.
Oh, wait, what do we do?
I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let us know in the comment section below. Make sure you check his videos out, because they're really good.